Hey everybody, it's Glenn and welcome back to the third day of Gremlins week. If you've not checked out the previous 2 days, please do so. And after today, please stick with me through to the rest of the week. Today I'm covering the 2 Gremlins figures from Gremlins 2, the new batch. Gremlins 2 was released, I believe it was 1991, so 7 years had passed since the original film. And in tone, I guess it leans a bit more towards comedy than horror, whereas kind of the first movie kind of balanced horror with comic elements. I would say the second installment is much more placed in the comic tone. But what I would say for Gremlins 2 the new batch is that the Gremlins themselves were much improved in design. Puppets were far superior to those used in the first movie. That may just be a case of Gremlins 2 having more money thrown at it than the first one, and the creators having more time to develop the puppets. But we compare Mohawk from Gremlins 2 here, who is the leader of the Gremlins in the second movie, to Stripe, the leader of the Gremlins in the first movie. You can see the difference between the two there. Now that's not any weakness of NECA, who made these figures. Like I said, this kind of represents the developments of the Gremlins themselves as kind of characters. I think you'll kind of agree that the Mohawk here from Gremlins 2 just anatomically looks just a lot more, I don't know what the word is, naturalistic, maybe? So as I said, essentially Mohawk was to Gremlins 2 what Stripe was to Gremlins. Mohawk, perhaps the most evil and sadistic gremlin. Mohawk begins his reign of terror in the Splice of Life laboratory. Mohawk helps to mutate a new batch of gremlins into a mob of genetically altered nocturnal terrors, waiting for the chance to escape the Clamp building. That's me reading from the card back there, giving you a bit of insight into the character. The figure itself, great likeness to Mohawk in the movie, but with great likeness often comes a lack of articulation. Sometimes articulation can really compromise the look of a character, and NECA prefer to go for the look of the character, but I will go over the articulation. He swivels 360 at the head. There's no up or down though, unfortunately. It does feature shoulder articulation. Also swivels 360 at the elbows, as he also does at the hands here. And then his hips do have articulation, so you could sit him down if need be. You can open his arms wide so you can give him a big hug, which I wouldn't advise because he'd probably bite your face off. And as you may have seen back here, his Mohawk spine, it is detachable. It attaches into a slot in his back and is in 2 pieces. I guess if you were in fear of losing those, you could glue those into the slot. So I believe this Mohawk figure is the first Gremlins figure produced by NECA. It originated in NECA's Cult Classics toy series, which, like McFarlane's movie Maniacs, took various different characters from different film franchises and brought them all together in various different series of figures. Now, the Cult Classics figure, it did come with a display base, and the display base was the top of a science laboratory table for him to stand on. The Mohawk that I have is a later re-release by NECA, which came without the lab table display stand. But it did come with this accessory, as did the Cult Classics edition. This is of course the formula that MOHAWK takes to mutate into a spider-gremlin hybrid. That's a nice touch. As you can see, it has the spider emblem on there. That's all ready for MOHAWK to glug 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 glug. In addition to MOHAWK from Gremlins 2 the new batch, they also gave us Brain Gremlin. So like how MOHAWK took the spider formula to genetically alter himself, Brain Gremlin here took a brain formula, which is in the same container as MOHAWK's spider formula, except for the spider symbol is replaced by a brain symbol. So the brain was just an average gremlin until drinking Dr. Catheter's brain formula. Now highly intellectual, the brain wants what everyone wants. The fine points: diplomacy, compassion, standards, manners, tradition, chamber music, in short, civilization. That's me reading from the card back, The Brain Gremlin, and that card back bio. Actually, a quote of Brain Gremlin from the movie when the brain gives a interview to a TV reporter. It's part of his speech. And of course, what Brain Gremlin represented in the movie was a good plot device, really, in terms of giving the gremlins a voice. Now, Brain Gremlin is pretty much features the same articulation as MOHAWK, except the neck of his shirt here does hide more of a kind of ball joint, which allows Brain to look down and up, which is quite cool. NECA did also produce a 12-inch rotocast of Brain Gremlin, which I wish I had. It really is quite the sight to behold. So that's MOHAWK and Brain from Gremlins 2 the new batch. Two really great looking figures. If you don't have these, do track them down. So that completes my spotlight on Brain and MOHAWK here from Gremlins 2 the new batch. I hope you're enjoying Gremlins Week. Please stay tuned for tomorrow's instalment. Speaking of which, tomorrow I will be talking to you as a whole new genetically altered super intelligent Glenn. Glug 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 glug.